to origin. My name is Ross Broom and I compete in Highland Games. I've always competed in some kind of strength sport, so I played rugby originally. I actually had a kidney transplant, so I was no longer allowed to compete in contact sports. A friend of mine got me into throwing in athletics, so shot put, hammer, javelin and discus. And then I bumped into a few people who competed in the circuit. I'd done my first Highland Games in 2018, which was South End near Campbelltown. So it was a transition from not being able to do one thing and finding something else to kind of fill that competitive void, if that makes sense. 4 years doing it now thereabouts, excluding the 2 kind of COVID years. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it definitely kind of gives me something back, because rugby was like pretty much everything I'd done for a big portion of my life. My goals these days are all generally numbers orientated, so distances. So I think if you can hit like 40 feet in the putt, 60 feet in the lightweight for distance, 100 feet in the hammer, and then maybe clear 12, 13 feet and weight for height, have a good pull at a caber, those are kind of numbers that you aim for to be a kind of semi-decent thrower, and at the very least get into some of the kind of bigger games to compete. It's usually numbers orientated. There are some gym goals that I aim towards as well, but the reality is that they're less important than trying to just be better with your technique and spend time drilling movements and things like that. But predominantly number related. There are a few games I would like to go to that I won't allow myself to go to until I hit certain numbers, because they're more prestigious games. So you want to show up and you want to be within a certain standard to be able to compete there, if that makes sense. That's the tartan I wear as well. The games, I got my kilt in 2017, so that's the Armstrong tartan. So I started lifting some of the stones, and I wanted a kilt to wear. So I was going to wear some variation of my family tartan. I've got 2 sides between my mum's side, which is the black tartan, and then my dad's side, which is the Armstrong tartan. So it just turned out that I fell at the Highland Games within a year of that as well, so I was working it out. The first challenge I actually encountered was having equipment to train with, because it's not something you can buy in the shops. A factor that I encountered that caused me I was borrowing kit from friends and training with friends all the time. Of course, if you can't train when they're training, then you can't use their kit. Changing the way I trained in the gym as well. All the training I done was I would go in and do typical, I would do like a push-pull legs kind of split, or I would just train whatever I wanted to train. My training these days is predominantly kind of honed around peaking for throwing and things like that. So at the moment I'll only go in the gym 1 day a week, because most of my time is spent throwing, and I'll do a pull, so like a clean, a snatch, a squat, a press and a jump, and that's it. That's all I'll do throughout the season, and then when the season ends it'll change into a more like a non-linear progression throughout winter and that. I got my kidney from my dad, and my family have supported me colossally throughout my life, as I've spent a lot of it in some degree of ailment, because I was diagnosed with nephrotic syndrome when I was 8 years old, so I was quite young. So for me it's my duty to keep moving, whether that's in the Highland Games or whether I take up another sport down the line at some point. The Highland Games means a lot to me through being Scottish and my heritage here, but I think that I just need to keep moving, and I owe that to myself and to my dad to continue to stay as active as I possibly can. So whether that's going up and down hills, whether that's running, whether that's general gym work, whether it's going back to rugby and playing a little bit of touch rugby just to stay moving and things like that. So I owe it to myself, my family, and my dad specifically to keep moving and stay active in some way, shape or form. There's nothing you can do that prepares you for caber. Nothing. You have to just go and do it. I think I've lifted a caber outside of a competition 3 or 4 times, and it's just because a friend of mine has a big farm and he has an area where he can keep one, but that's also on the side of a hill, so that's not ideal either. But it doesn't matter what you do in the gym, it doesn't matter, because you can be incredibly strong. That's not all caber's about. But yeah, that was one of there's nothing I do this for caber or I do that for caber. There's no real carryover. You just need to be able to go and spend time learning how to move the stick effectively, how to get it off the floor, how to balance it, how to drive forwards.
and then the correct time to have a pull at the cable to try and turn it, because if you wait too late it will not turn. If you try and pull too early, it's going to feel like 100 kilograms in your hands. It's going to make it very, very difficult, so there's not a single thing you can do to train for that. My favourite exercise in the gym is cleans, because even when I played rugby, that's still a fundamental gym movement for developing like a big powerful triple extension. So a triple extension is hitting tackles, driving in scrums, jumping in the line out. All these things require great power for hips, ankles and knees, and throwing's not too dissimilar in that sense. It's far more technical because you have to be hitting certain angles in certain positions to effectively move away, but 90% of the movements end in like a big triple extension. So cleans are probably one of the movements that I've trained consistently for the last kind of 8 to 10 years probably. You know, I go through phases of squatting or deadlifting, sometimes both. I don't really bench press as much anymore. Most of my movements are overhead and incline, so it's always going to be specific to it. But I'd like to hit a 300 pound power clean, which is 136 kilos. I'm still a wee bit away from that. I'm still about 16 kilos away from that, so I've got a bit to go, but in my head that's the number I want to hit. Don't know why, everyone gets that I guess. My favourite throwing event is probably lightweight for distance, the 28 pound throwing weight. That's the one where you kind of spin like a discus almost and then you release the weight. I'd like to hit, I'm currently breaking 60 feet, and I'd like to hit 65 feet. I think 20 metres is 65.7 thereabouts anyway. So that's my kind of one of my short-term goals, and I've got about 3.5 feet to make up to get to that. So that's my short-term goal. But a lot of the numbers that I'd mentioned previously, I think things like getting over 100 feet in the hammer pretty regularly. 40 feet in the putt would be a big one, but I'm 3 feet, 3.5 feet to make up before I'm getting into that kind of area. But yeah, 28 pounds weight for distance and the high power clean. They're my two kind of favourite movements. Season starts second or third week in May, and then usually finishes the second or third weekend in September. There are sometimes other competitions out with that in other parts of Europe, even across the water in the States and Canada. I'm actually going to Malaysia, to Kuala Lumpur on the 22nd of September for Highland Games over there with a few friends, so I'm looking forward to going away to that. It's not somewhere you would expect to go for a Highland Games, to Kuala Lumpur at all, so I'm looking forward to that a lot. Don't forget to follow Origin Fitness and subscribe to us on YouTube.